What's up, y'all? This is the first episode of Mindset Meets Muscle. I'm Austin.
And I'm Van, and this is a show where mindset meets muscle, where we talk about fitness, work, and life, and how to level up all three.
We're not here to just talk about lifting weights. We're here to talk about building discipline, balance, and purpose inside and outside of the gym.
All right, before we get into it too heavy, let's tell people who we are. Austin, you take the lead, you can go first. What's your background, brother?
Well, I come from a personal training background. I've been certified twice, so I've done it for 4 years. I've had some pretty good success with my clients, but I've been very inconsistent with my own personal fitness. Recently, dating back to April of 2025, I was at my heaviest weight. I was 278 pounds. I was lethargic. I was tired, and I felt awful. And then one day I woke up and I decided it was time to make a change. So back in April, I was about 278 pounds, pushing 280, almost 300, which is crazy. And today, this present day, I'm 242 pounds. So I've really worked really hard in the last 9 months to drop those 36 pounds. With the gym, I kind of take a powerlifting approach. I want to get strong. I want to gain strength. Maybe compete one day, but really, the focal point for me this last 9 months is to lose that weight and kind of feel better about myself and feel better about how I looked. But that's kind of my background. It's where I come from. But what about you, Van?
Uh, I've kind of always been into fitness, just not on just a personal level. I've never trained or anything, and I've never been as consistent as I like. Not too long ago, I noticed I was gaining weight. I was feeling nasty, lethargic. I hated getting up. Didn't like looking at myself. I weighed myself. I was about 225 pounds. July, a friend of mine came down to visit. We went to the beach. He snapped a couple photos when I was in the water, and when I seen those photos, I knew it was time to make a change. Today, I'm down to about 180. I'm feeling better. I'm moving faster, so that's good. This podcast is more about weight loss, though. It's kind of more about the mindset meets muscle, the mental battles, the physical work, and all the habits that you can utilize to change your lifestyle.
I think that makes sense. We're not all perfect. We're real. So we're learning, and just like everybody else listening, we understand that fitness is a constant changing industry. So you're going to see on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you see all these videos that people post of these new methods and things that you can do to lose weight or get stronger, or anything that kind of regards fitness. There's always a new opinion. So kind of the purpose of the podcast is to kind of discuss all of these things that everybody sees on social media. Um, some things work, some things don't. Some things are a bunch of crap, and some things are worth giving it a shot. So that's kind of really what we're going to do every week on this podcast, is kind of talk about these things that people want to post and see if it has validity. Maybe even try some of these methods, on an episode and see how it works for us, and kind of let y'all know, if it did work for us or if it didn't, and why it did or didn't. What started this podcast off, actually, is one day in the past, Van had started going to the gym and losing some of that weight he was talking about. And he loved to constantly remind me that he was seeing progress and I wasn't. So I kept telling him, just wait till I start getting back to it. But this went on for months, and I never went. He just kept getting skinnier. So one day I finally decided to hit the gym hard, 5-6 days a week, and I started to not only lose weight, but I was gaining muscle really fast, and it was showing. So when I go to work, I roll my sleeve up, just like one or two rolls to kind of show,
Talk that shit.
just to kind of show the biceps and to see the work that I put in. I'm definitely one to. I agree with the fact that if you feel good about how you look, then show it. So one day when I was leaving work, I was passing Van on the way out, and he goes, "Austin, I need to start hitting the gym with you." And the rest was history. So we started hitting the gym 6 days a week together, and our gym conversations just flowed. We took our lifts seriously. I mean, we don't want to get hurt, but the time that we were there, we were definitely not serious.
4-hour workouts.
No. Our conversations though were real and authentic, and it just felt like whenever we were at the gym, talking between sets, it just felt like we were podcasting naturally. Obviously, no camera was on, no mics were on. We just talked, and this is when Van actually came up with the idea of doing a podcast. We felt that our conversations should be shared with the world so that our listeners can not only relate or connect, but see other perspectives in the vast world of fitness that, I discussed before, that there's just so much out there, so much material, so many ideas. So we just felt that this was a good way to kind of talk about that and, not only give y'all some insight on some of the shit that you see out there, but, kind of give us some insight and new ideas to try and see how it goes.
But a lot of people think fitness stops at the gym, but really it's a mental game. That's why I wanted to start the podcast. I think when I first started doing my trying to lose weight, I jumped into the idea of losing weight too much. And that's like I said, this guy, it took him like 6 months. This guy was a beast. Definitely could tell he was working out. And I'm like, yo, man, I gotta jump in there with you. And I mean, like I said, he pretty much summed it all. I just wanted to jump in there and really, we started talking shit at work, and then we went to the gym a couple times together. Here we are.
Yeah, I think that we kind of have a good connection at the gym where, I have a lot of the fitness knowledge from my personal training background. And not just that, it doesn't really stop there, but I'm constantly doing research. I'm always looking for new ideas and kind of new things to kind of make me get better. So that's kind of the motto that I live off of is I don't want to get complacent. I like to try to constantly improve and get better. There'll never be a point in my life where I'm like, okay, like I'm good. Like I'm just gonna kind of like maintain and just be satisfied. Like I definitely don't get satisfied. I need to consistently work towards getting better and better and better. And I think with my knowledge, it kind of goes hand in hand with his energy. So he kind of made me not take the gym so seriously. And I kind of mean that loosely. I take my workouts very seriously. When I'm there, I'm locked in, I'm in the zone, as you should be, especially when you're lifting heavy ass weights that you can get hurt. You definitely have to take it seriously. But, between sets, why can't you joke around and, have fun with it. It kind of makes you more excited to go to the gym. I wake up early in the morning, and a lot of people, when they wake up and they're like, oh, I got to go lift heavy ass weights today. Or, some people don't like leg day. So you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, like, oh, I got to go do legs. It's easier to do that when you have something more than just lifting weights to look forward to going to the gym. I know that when I go, like, we're going to have a good time. Like it's going to be a fun
Right.
2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever we do.
We work in a serious environment, and I'm sure at some point in the podcast we'll get into it. And I think a lot of what we do, and we always have to be serious. It's a constant battle of just
Yeah,
always being serious. And like I said, I might not take going to the gym as serious as some, but I do take my longevity and my health pretty serious. But I also take my mental health very serious. And like I said, we work in some dark places, and we see some weird shit sometimes.
it's good to not
So
like
when we
take
go
that
to the
home.
yeah. So when we go to the gym, he gets up early as shit in the morning. I go out right after I get off work. I work nights, so instead of taking any of that home, or for Austin going into the day carrying a bunch of shit, dude, we take it to the gym. We leave it at the gym, bro. We talk about shit. We work hard. We exhaust our bodies and we exhaust our minds all in the same
Right.
time, and we socialize, man. And we're at this point. We started off, believe it or not, we did not like each other. I consider this my literal best friend. This is family right here. I'm sure. I think I touched on it in the beginning. When I was working out, I wasn't working out right. I wasn't eating right. I ate like a freaking ant. When I started working out with this guy is when I really started noticing change. Anyone can lose weight, dude. A good calorie. I mean, I got the diet shit down to a T. My nutrition's excellent, combined with what this guy knows every other day. And I swear to you, every other workout, there's a new variation to a workout we've changed 5 times. But every single time we change it, it feels better than the last time. And I think the combination of the both is you're just going to get a real well-rounded channel where like we're talking fitness, workouts, recovery, nutrition, You know, we're diving into what's behind the scenes, the habits, the growth, building confidence. You know, finding purpose in what you do, work. You
And
know,
I kind of think that's another thing that we're going to really discuss a lot is discipline and habits.
yeah, man, staying
Two
grounded.
things that we both struggle with,
Right.
and everybody, anyone that watches this video, I'm telling you, every one of you has struggled with habit and discipline at least one time in your life.
Vices, we all have them. The vices, sweets, delaying getting up in the morning. I'm gonna do this today, not doing it today. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and then next thing you know, 3 months from now, you still haven't done it. It's a vice. We all struggle. We all make mistakes. Consistency's key. That's probably what we'll focus on the most here. But really, it's staying grounded, keeping the promise to yourself. You know, I'm gonna, instead of saying you're gonna do it, not doing it, say you do it and then you do it. You know.
We'll talk a little bit about recovery, nutrition as well. A lot of really all sides of this. I mean, that's the thing about fitness is it can't just be, you know, I'm going to go to the gym and lift weights, or I'm going to go to the gym and run on the treadmill. Like it all comes full circle. Nutrition, working out, recovery, which is a huge part of this, sleep,
Right.
stretching, making sure that you take care of your body so that you don't get hurt. I mean, everything comes full circle. So we'll be talking about all of that at some point in this podcast. We're going to do all kinds of different segments in the coming episodes. But we also want to hear from y'all. We'll be doing all kinds of different stuff, but we want y'all to drop some comments and let us know, like, what do you want us to see, or what do you want to see us do? Because hot topics.
So you might be interested in us, covering. If it's something that you don't know about, but you don't want to do the research, make a comment. We'll look into it. And we'll touch base on it.
we love debate. I mean, we
Oh,
debate
yeah.
every day at the gym. Not just at the gym, but anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That's a constant thing that we're gonna be constantly talking about. This is what I think, and this is what you think, and let's talk about that.
Mindset meets muscle.
Yeah.
All right. This is not just two guys trying to show off vanity at the gym. We're gonna have episodes where we're just keeping it real. We're bullshitting. We're just having fun. We might bring people on, athletes, entrepreneurs, fucking everyday people. Debate. We want to keep our minds fresh. We want to keep our bodies fresh, and that's
Right.
why we're gonna encompass it all into one, where mindset meets muscle.
We want to incorporate y'all into this as well. So if you have some crazy stories of growth or changes or transformations or anything, that you're proud of, we'd be happy to share it. And we'd be happy to talk about it, together or with you.
Right. Absolutely.
So we're all about, collaboration. We want to make this,
a community.
Right.
Right.
It is a community.
If we can leave you guys with one thing each week, is that your mindset builds your muscle in every part of life.
That's going to wrap it up for our first episode. We really just wanted to introduce ourselves and set the tone for the podcast. Kind of give you guys an idea of what we're going to be going for.
If you like where this is going, make sure to hit the follow button, subscribe, share. Mindset meets muscle with someone who's chasing the same thing as we are: growth, consistency. We're covering all of it. So just give it a like and share.
The next episode, we're going to talk about something we both deal with. And just like you just said, we're going to talk about staying consistent when the motivation fades. So that one's going to be good. I hope you all tune in. Thanks for watching.